Welcome to my speech room. I'm going to give you a very brief tour here of where I spend the majority of my days. Well, in and out of the hallway and classrooms in here, but here when you walk in is my challenge board, my homework challenge board, which I will do a separate post on once I get that up and running. In the beginning of the year, I really like to see where my students are before we really jump into that first. I have a dresser that houses my paper and my craft supplies, my cards in the bottom. It's a nice depth for some of my commercial cards and whatnot there. I have then you come to my wipe-off board with my little crate seats where we can sit underneath, just use every ounce of space as the SLPs seem to do, and my Got Goals section where my students will visit every day to grab their goals out of their teachers' mailboxes, which they'll have rings which will tell their objectives that they're working on. From Queen's Speech, as well as my behavior card, which I use to see if the students are making star choices, if they're following all of our speech and language rules. We punch their card, and when they complete that card, they will get to choose from one of my star rewards over here, such as eat lunch with me, be my assistant for the day, wear slippers to speech, listen to music, bring something in for show and tell, an extra speech pass. The most common and popular ones are eat lunch with me or come to an extra speech pass or bring a friend, which is great. There are some of my favorite books up top. Over here I have my tokens, which I use quite frequently with my phonological awareness boards. You can find on my TPT site. When I open my token containers, I use the spelling patterns that support the Orton-Gillingham reading program that my district uses and trained all of the SLPs in, as well as my clothespins that I dyed using some Easter egg dyes this past Easter that I use for various tasks throughout therapy. Some little flowered pens that won't disappear as we're having meetings. My curtains, my SLP curtains, which were a fun little craft project for me this summer, as well as my little reading nook, which we can use for reading books, or I need a break, I need to just separate myself from the group for a little bit, with birthday treats and some poems and artwork and things from students of mine. I also have books behind my reading nook that my students can bring home, and they can keep them at home. They can keep them if they'd like, or they can return them for others. I keep books that I'm willing to donate in that bin. I also have my rolling cart. In my rolling cart, I'll put different thematic units that I happen to be using at the time. Right now, you'll find my Talk the Plank, Matey, Common Core kit, lots of pirate-themed activities in here right now, so for Pirate Month, but I will go and do a separate post on that in due time. So the next area is our sound area where my students come in. The first thing they do is they will come over and we will all say our sounds for Sunny, our new guest, our pet hamster that I acquired through a Pets in the Classroom grant, who has been extremely motivating. I will have a pointer that will lead the students and point through the sounds. They are sorted by position, as you can see. I will also have my Zoe Turner, and these sounds are all supported on my phonological awareness boards. They're all the same pictures. It's a beauty of having children. You can use them for various tasks. My Zoe Turner, who will emphasize and support that OG training with R versus and separating those two R's, as well as my wand watchers, who will watch and make sure we are doing magical sounds so that we can ding the magic wand at the end. Above my board, I have my Common Core tins that I purchased off of, created off of a purchase from TPT, as well as my speech sound sticks, another TPT purchase that I will put my sounds that I'm using at the time on rings and put those in those buckets as well for organizational purposes. I have my curtain, which can lower for safety reasons. I think that's important in the schools nowadays. Do something amazing. My is just a little subliminal message. Let's try to get that for our kids. And my rules poster that I incorporated to put my own children, put their picture in there. Let's see, I'll complete the tour with my desk area, which is my little, gosh, I have to do paperwork. Let's try to make this my happy spot, and it reminds me of some of the reasons why I'm here with coworker puzzles. And then I have a painting from a student that from years past that had, when I moved away from where I was at the time, gave it to me, and she is now in college studying to be an SLP, so that's always been in my room. Paintings from speech graduates and bubbles for autism programs that we've done, a fish that my daughter had made, and pictures of my son and I. So I try to keep that with some, I'm very sentimental, so I surround myself with as much love as I can to get through the less desirable parts of our job. So thank you for joining me and my little tour of my humble speech room. We will go over some more areas and things such as my little rolling table, Lego table at another time. But thanks for joining me. Have a great night.